Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Happy Halloween. We don't have any spirit. We have no costumes.
There it
because
is.
you know why? We were busy all night trying to get the up-to-date latest information on what was going on in the world of the NBA, and it just so happens there was a lot going on. Welcome to Run It Back. Chandler Parsons to my left, Lou Williams on the end there, and Stadium insider Shams Charania is coming to us live from his home in different parts. Shams, I don't know if you've been to sleep. That was the weirdest time that I think I've seen such a huge chunk of breaking news, but it finally happened. James Harden got his way. He's headed out here to the West Coast to the Clippers. Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, draft picks, one pick swap. That's all heading to the Sixers and PJ Tucker. And as I said, James Harden heading out here. Look, I am fascinated with not just how this went down, when it started to really trickle, but the timing of it all. Take us through your night.
Yeah, so this really started to develop over the course of Monday. This is the Sixers off day that they had. They have 3 days before their game on Thursday. And so that included the off day on Monday. That included Tuesday, Wednesday, which was supposed to be practice days. And so for the Sixers, they got to work. And I think there was for sure a level of pressure from James Harden. We saw he reappeared around the organization. He was there. But that never was going to work. And I think there was a level of pressure that he was putting on the organization. There was a level of pressure that Daryl Morey was getting as well throughout the organization from ownership. And once that became apparent, the Clippers stepped in, and we've talked about it. They've offered a first-round pick. They've offered a pick swap. Now they come in with 2 more second-round picks. They come with another first-round pick that they got from Oklahoma City. So you package all that together, and that's the deal that you get. And so if you're the Sixers, now you have 2 firsts, and the way that they're looking at this is they can use their 1 first-round pick. They get 2 firsts, so you have 3 first-round picks you can use in a trade at any point this season, going into the offseason, to go get a star, because they want to go pair another star with Joel Embiid, with Tyrese Maxey. But I think Tyrese Maxey, the start he had, the Sixers, the start that they got off to, that gave them the confidence that they can go and pull this deal off now and essentially cut their losses with this James Harden situation. And if you're the Clippers, now you get James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, you have Russell Westbrook, you keep Terrence Mann, you have Norman Powell. This is a team that is going all in to try to win a championship this season. They have not extended Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. This is their window this year to keep this group together.
I mean, the first 40 minutes of this show are going to have to be about this. So what do we make of this? Do we like this move? That's the easiest question. Do we like the move?
As it stands right now, I don't like it for Philly. Now, if you touch on what Shams just said, if they can package these picks, if you can package and get a Zach LaVine, a DeMar DeRozan, a Siakam, if you can eventually go down the road and you can stay afloat until Daryl Morey somehow pulls that off, then yes, I like it. And like Shams said again, I think the hot start from Tyrese Maxey, the progress he's shown this offseason and how it's transitioned in the first couple of games, that gave them the confidence that they can do this. And he can be that number 2 guy right now until they kind of turn these picks and these players into something bigger and something better to now have one of these trios that can compete with these other ones. But right now, and then on the flip side with the Clippers, it's win now, right? It's who knows? Are they going to fit? Are they going to mesh? I'll tell you this, James Harden is at the point of his career where all he needs is a championship. And I just don't know if this gives him a better championship odds than just staying in Philly with Maxey, with Joel Embiid. But you know what?
But he just didn't want to be there. So.
It had to get done, so I think it's not like the Ben Simmons thing. It's not going to linger all season. It's done. So I think that is the positive thing for both sides.
I agree. As this deal stands, I don't like it for either side. I thought the Sixers started the season off pretty well.
Yep.
I thought the Clippers started off pretty well. I thought the chemistry was being built. A lot of guys that weren't sure about their positions on those teams were finding their grooves. Russell Westbrook was finding a groove. Terrence Mann, so much stock put into him. Now we don't know what happens. Does he go to the bench? Does those 4 guys start with Zubac? And so it's a lot of uncertainty with this deal being done. So I don't know.
It feels like we just don't have an opinion yet because we have no idea what to expect. It's weird because it was one of those things, Shams, where we've been talking about it since July. Like, we've known that that's where he wants to go. He wants to be a Clipper. We knew Terrence Mann was the sticking point, that they didn't want to budge on that. For this to happen at 2 o'clock in the morning your time is crazy to me. Thank goodness for bathroom wake-ups, because that's the only way we would have found out about this. That's on the Clippers side of things. Like Lou said, everyone seems to be starting out fine. I know we're only 3 games in, but for them to make this move, does it have anything to do with the new building? Is there any possibility that James Harden
has everything to do with that new building?
Everything?
You need star power.
Yeah.
Look, you open up a $2 billion arena.
Oh, dang.
You need fans in that building, and you need guys that are going to bring them in there. A lot of star power, a lot of names on paper. If they can translate that into a lot of wins, a great basketball team, I think it's a great start for that arena.
And here's the thing, that big 3 outside of Russ, I think, have player options. So it does give them the flexibility. And at least, like Lou just said, it gives the city, it gives the team, this new building, it's a project. But now they have buzz, they have hope, they have a bunch of talent. And like you said, Michelle, they didn't even have to move the guy, Terrence Mann, that they apparently was the reason that they were hitting a snag. They kept Norman Powell, they kept Bones Highland. So they still have these guys, too, that can come off the bench. Lou brings up a great point. James Harden's not coming off the bench
at all.
So maybe it's Russ is the guy outside. Maybe it's Terrence Mann, but it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works and what the rotations are going to be, because they're loaded with scoring wings.
And not to make too many predictions, but that team,
yeah, give it to us.
How that team is built, they're going to play a lot of small ball. They're guard heavy. A lot of guys that can play from 1 through 4, switch a lot on the defensive end, and so I'm curious to see what they get, what they get from having some guys underneath that rim, with the exception of Zubac and Mason Plumlee.
Shams, was there ever a point where you thought, or you were hearing, that the Clippers were out, or has this just really been behind the scenes the goal the entire time? It just took a little bit longer than maybe people expected.
There's always a game of chicken negotiations. I think there's always a point where either side feels like, oh, this is the most we're going to do. But the Clippers, they've been going back and forth with the Sixers since late June, early July. This is something that's been on their radar. This is something that they've been working on. They never really gave up pursuit. Even when Malcolm Brogdon has been on the table multiple times for them, they always kept their eye on James Harden. They did go after Jrue Holiday. He ends up in Boston. But once that comes off the board, they've been every single day. It's how can we get James Harden in? They feel like if we have James Harden with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, we have a legitimate chance to win the championship. Without getting James Harden, they did not feel they were there. And so you go and get James Harden, and yeah, he's going in there to start. And so you have those 3 guys to start. We'll see what happens with Russell Westbrook. Do you play them together? It didn't go as well as Houston thought it would come playoff time. So do they bring Russ off the bench? What do they do with Russ? I think is definitely going to be a question. Terrence Mann, you got to believe, is going to start once he's fully healthy from his ankle sprain. So there are some questions, but this is a Clippers team that's going all in to try to win a championship this season. They want to keep those 3 guys together. They want to sign them all the long-term extensions. That's the plan. Now, we'll see how this season goes and how those 3 guys gel.
All Southern California guys. 4th time that Harden's been traded in his career, and that's a lot. He's tied for the most by former MVPs in history. That's the thing, right? I mean, Russ is waking up this morning like, now what happened? Like, how does he fit with this group of dudes?
Well, if you remember last year, he was in these 6 Man of the Year talks. Like, I think he's got to go back to that. I don't see a way where he starts. I think he's got to be that. I know, but he's got to be that Chris Paul and the Warriors.
But he was so happy now.
Why him? When he was the guy that we saw that smile on his face again, bro. We saw him talking trash again, running in the crowd, being engaging. It was like it was a blast from the, not to say the past, but it was a blast from the past, and he looked good. So why is he the odd man out from the 4 guys?
Why is he being punished?
The timing is tough, right? Because we were just talking about it this week, how he does look happy, and he does look confident, and he's playing. I just don't see a world with James Harden, all these demands. By the way, don't ever think it's not a players' league either. This guy wanted to go to the Clippers, and eventually he got traded to the Clippers. He's not doing that to come off the bench. Neither is Kawhi Leonard, and neither is Paul George.
But I don't think Russell Westbrook re-signs with the Clippers to come off the bench either.
I think they're willing to risk that and lose him to have this big 3, this star
I think you
power
lose him.
going in.
I'm with you, but I think you lose him mentally, bro, by putting him back on the bench and asking him to do that role because James Harden comes in. And, all off season, the first 3 games that they played is, Russ is back. Russ looks healthy. Russ is ready. And James come in, it's like, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
I know it's only 3 games, but is there a world in which James comes in, and I'm sure he gets there at some point today, and you say, look, we got you here, took a minute, We want to try this out because right now everybody's gelling and we like what we see.
Try what out?
We need
Try
you to
what?
come off the
Hell
bench for
no.
a few
Try what?
games.
Hell no.
God,
No.
what? This is so.
No way. And by the way,
What if this bombs right away and now you don't know what you could have had?
It might. This could be a classic. They swung for the fence. They went and got the headlines. They got the names. And this could absolutely backfire. There's no doubt about it. But on the flip side, these guys, if they do happen to gel and they do stay healthy, I don't want to play this team in the playoffs because they still can defend. They still have a good bench. They still have good bigs. And if these guys happen to find a rotation where they're all happy, they're all getting theirs, I can see this really, really working too. So it's too early to tell now. I can't wait to watch it.
I know.
But my God, I don't think the drama is necessarily done because someone's coming off the bench, someone's going to be unhappy, someone's touches are going to get less and less, and not everybody's going to be happy. There's
It's one way
ball.
this works. If there's a total buy-in and everybody's fully committed to winning a championship opposed to being former MVPs or whatever
many.
accolades that you have, everybody has to completely buy in.
And you would think that's all these guys are missing outside of Kawhi, right? That's
Right.
All, that's all.
But it's a lot of alpha dogs in that yard, man.
So many. Okay, you mentioned it, the Players League thing. He got his way. I mean, at the end of the day, no matter how he did it with the signs and the liar and the this and the that, I guess what I'm asking is I think people are good with guys having a say in their destiny and where they end up. Do you like the way this particular one played out, though?
No, I don't think so. I think you have a commitment. You have you're assigned to a contract. You should fulfill that contract. You should play. And as far as the relationship with James and Daryl Morey, obviously that got ugly. But he really put Daryl Morey in a box here. He went from having a really good team and a contending team to basically, I know there was some lies, there was some things said between the two, but this is a tough situation for Daryl Morey because now how long was he going to let this linger? And how long was he going to wait? And then now that he made the trade, does it work? Is Joel Embiid happy? I assume he's had multiple conversations with Joel Embiid because the big winner of this trade couldn't end up being the New York Knicks because they could be the one that's just sitting there and just reap all the benefits. Once this implodes even more in Philly, Joel's next. And so I hope it works out for him. I love Joel. I hope it works out for Daryl Morey in this situation. I think it's going to be, a cleaner slate. There's no more drama. But again, now it's like, all right, moving on to the big fella. Is he happy?
That's sad. We're 3 games in.
And CP, have we seen any success come out of any of these forced trades?
No.
We hadn't seen any success come out of these forced trades, and so I would just like to see some order in the court. As a former player, I like the fact that you have so much leverage in the game right now, but it's just got to start making sense.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Another fun thing to watch as the season unfolds. We're saying goodbye to Shams right now. We'll see. He's going to have a long, long day. Shams, sir, I know you have a lot going ahead. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Coming up, Vince Carter. What a day for Vince Carter to join the show. We can get his take on all of this, plus the season so far, when Run It Back returns.
Legend.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
We're legendary.
Vince Carter, I don't believe what I just saw.
We're legendary.
Are you kidding me? Half man, half amazing.
We're legendary.
Must be so surreal to have videos like that of yourself exist forever. Vince Carter, he's an 8-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, played for 8 teams over 22 years, finally retired. Was wondering when that was going to happen.
Finally.
It went on forever. Vince Carter joining us today, super stoked. We have a gazillion questions for you, but we have to start with the obvious one. The breaking news overnight that James Harden is now a Clipper. He got his way. What was your take?
Woke up this morning to that. A couple of my friends texting. I was like, wait, what? And I agree with both of you guys. What you're saying, it's no way Harden, comes off the bench, but Russ has been playing great basketball, and that's what you want. Why rock the boat when you don't have to? And I thought the Clippers were playing great basketball. Russ is averaging 11.7 rebounds, 7 assists. That's like old Russ. He's in attack mode. He's figuring out when he can be in attack mode, when to kind of lay out and allow the other guys to do it. Everything is going well. So I'm interested to see who goes to the bench, and do you want to start those 4, when you're already talking about keeping guys as healthy as possible. One of those guys have to play the 4. One of those guys have to guard the bigger guys, take a little of a beating, banging with the big guys. Like, I mean, yes, I get it. Small ball exists and it's a big thing, but I'm trying to keep those guys happy and healthy. That's my concern this year for the Clippers.
Man, maybe we do a
Everybody
petition,
agrees.
like a petition to say we want to let this play out, and if it starts to fail, okay, no one buys on
Yeah.
that. Fine, go ahead, Chandler. Tried.
Well, I don't know what question I'm on here, Michelle. Gosh dang.
Here, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, come on.
what
yeah,
are the-
yeah. You really just threw me
We're
under the
talking
bus there.
Wembanyama. We got to talk
Okay,
about
yeah, obviously, BC, first of all, I miss you. I love you. I'll see you
Good
soon
seeing
in
you, brother.
Orlando. But obviously, one of the
Yeah.
biggest stories this year is the rookie, Victor
Literally.
Wembanyama. He's had some incredible highlights. What is your take on him so far? What do you think his ceiling is? How impressive has he been?
Well, I'm gonna go back and let you know I've been watching the show, and I agree with something that Lou said. You know, he said, you know, as a rookie, you're gonna have ups and downs, and you're gonna have bumps in the road. But this kid is gonna be good, man, and you can see his confidence and like he cares already. And that's something you said as well. You know, I've been watching, I've been listening, but I think for him is just, you know, he's in the perfect spot. He's going to learn the game, and yes, it's going to be like, oh, he's not doing this. His numbers not going to look gaudy and great, but at the same time, he's going to be consistent. He's going to be consistent once he figures this game out, because the European game is a little different than the NBA game. And, you know, one thing he said, he's like, this is a little easier. And, you know, some people took it as, you know, a slight, but like, it's more physical overseas. Like, look at the Olympics; it's more physical there. So he has to adjust to that more than anything, and then the speed and so on and so forth. But man, he can do everything. It's nothing he can't do. You know, his frame is small. He'll naturally get stronger with his build. But man, right now, he's good, man. I like him.
And now, prime Vince Carter one-on-one against this kid. What's the outcome?
Oh, I'm going at his chest now. Come on, man. You know that. We're going to see what happens because, you know, at the end of the day, young Vince and, you know, maybe not old Vince, but I always felt you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And I felt that I was going to come out on top more times than not. But, like, you know, this is a different breed of 7-footer. Like, there was, like, the Mutombo 7-footer. This is no slight. But you're talking about 7'2", stiff, you know, slow feet. This kid's more athletic and can do everything. So, like, going after these guys, trying to dunk on them, it's a little different.
Yeah.
VC, you played 22 seasons. LeBron James is in his 21st season. 29 points on Sunday and 39 minutes played. Another 19 points last night. More than anybody, I feel like you can appreciate things that he's accomplishing right now.
100%.
How impressive is that to you?
It's extremely impressive. I think he's going to surpass 22 seasons easily, first and foremost. I mean, we hear the rumors that now not only do you want to play with one of his sons, he wants to play with Bryce as well. So,
both, yeah.
all right, you want to play with both. So, you know, you got to go to 23, maybe 24 seasons, which, you know, he can do. Now, for that to happen, in my opinion, and we're kind of getting more into basketball, it all boils down to Anthony Davis and what he brings to the table, because, you know, you have LeBron James there. You can break glass in case of emergency to play big minutes for him. But how can you sustain his minutes to keep him playing this type of basketball? Like, the first game, I think he played only 29 minutes. But, like, that's where he should live until the playoffs.
I think he's controlling that, though. I think he's saying, look, I want to kind of weather this storm right now and get us off to a great start in the season. And so we'll play this game by game, and I'll play the minutes that I think I should in order for us to try to rack up some wins early in this season.
But Lou, you guys, maybe you know that. Sometimes organizations, coaches have to save us from ourselves, because the most important at the beginning of the season is obviously we're fresh and we're ready to go. And you know, you're seeing, you know, young guys, you're seeing old guys dunk, you're seeing CP get dunking early, you know, you're seeing all that, and then you kind of wear down throughout the course of the season because it's a grind. So I just feel like, yes, at some point you just want to, you know, keep him, manage it. Like you said, whenever you need him for bigger minutes, bigger games, to go ahead and do it, whatever. But I feel like Anthony Davis, this is his time, in my opinion. This is his time to be the alpha dog. This is my team. We have LeBron James, and when we need you, we're going to use you. But let me be that guy until further notice.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. If you played 39 minutes tonight, how many points are you scoring?
Tonight?
And can you walk tomorrow?
Can you walk tomorrow?
I mean, I don't know about how many drives. I mean, I'll still shoot. I can still shoot it. You know what I'm saying? We play zone and no Chandler Parsons. Factual. I am getting on the board.
Absolutely.
I am getting on the board. Chandler Parsons, you are correct. I don't know if I'll be able to walk tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a new day. No one's worried about that.
Yeah, we'll worry about tomorrow.
We'll worry about tomorrow. I'm glad we're going from one extreme. You got LeBron, who clearly wants to play the minutes at the beginning of the season. We're not, a week into this thing. And we've already seen some relatively big names resting general soreness, whatever you want to call it. It's really a disservice, I think, to the players as well. But is it too much? I mean, we're 3 games in for most teams. Is this too early?
I think it's too early. I mean, why not? You want to see what you have. And the one thing, guys, that frustrates me as a player when I watch and then you get to the end of the season is that, okay, you sit the guys and you play them, but you don't utilize your bench and you don't give them the opportunity all the time. But I'm like, you're at the beginning of the season. You're trying to establish yourself, and then you have to fight like hell in the end of the season to get in the position you want. And then, you shorten your bench. I get that. But when you get in those situations, like let's use the Clippers, when some of your guys go down, and then you're coach and you look down the bench and you're afraid to use the guys that you have. You have to utilize these guys. So this is opportunity for other guys as well. I just don't like managing guys 3 games into the season. I just don't like it.
What was your philosophy, or how often do you remember sitting with general soreness?
Well, you remember, Beadle, I came into
I know
into
you're
the
old,
league.
but I mean, just try to remember.
Right.
He played in 4 different eras, for God's sakes.
And that's the thing. I back at that time, that wasn't really a thing. And even in my older years, and CP, it, like when we played together, I wasn't trying to say, I didn't care about the age. Like, you know what to do. You know, if you're going to play these minutes, you have the things that you need to do to get ready for the next game or whatever. So, we were sitting on tables together, icing, cold tubs, hot tubs, all, the boot, everything we needed. But I just didn't believe in it, but that's what I came from.
Yeah.
I was trying to play and I'll recover later. I'll do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Vince, another offseason trade was Dame Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks. With that move being made, do you feel like the Bucks are the favorite coming out of the East?
I mean, I think naturally the Bucks are the favorite. I was interested in watching the game last night to see what they look like with Middleton on the floor as well. And man, the paint was wide open. And you said something that I agreed when I heard you say it. It's like Dame struggled, but his pride, he's going to have a bounce back game. And then I hear Middleton's going to be back.
25 last night. He was short of the 30, I said, but he had 25.
He had 25. And that's what I said. I was like, when Middleton gets back, the lane is open. You have a decision to make. And, you got to shrink the floor, all of that things you say. But guess who's on the help side, on the weak side?
Exactly.
Brook Lopez, Middleton, or Giannis Slicing. So they're
already a proven champion.
Right.
They're already a proven champion.
Yes.
And you add Dame Lillard to that.
Correct.
BC, earlier this week, I said that I personally, not trying to hate, I think the days of the Ben Simmons all-star, selection, I think that ship has sailed. You're calling Nets games this year. You've seen him more than I have. What's your take on him, and how does he look so far?
CP, you're right. 20 and 10, I heard you say it, 20 and 10 is out the door. But a confident Ben Simmons, believing in himself, pain-free is what they need. Okay, I mean, you saw him in high school. I saw him in high school. Even in college, he was aggressive. Okay, maybe that ship and sail, but you just want to kind of progressively get back to something. The one thing I saw and I liked about him last night is he's getting the ball. He's pushing the pace, getting into the paint, creating shots for their shooters and scores. More than anything, that's what you want. What do you have, like 11, 10, and 8 or something? He almost had a triple-double. If he's on triple-double watch, that's the Ben Simmons. That's the best version of himself to date. So I think if he continues to play that, it's showing he's confident and he believes in himself and his game.
Yeah, I agree. And now moving on to Luka, he's been incredible. I mean, it's been insane what he's been doing. Kyrie, not so much, struggling, averaging under 20 points per game. Do you think it's just put that on a slow start? Do you think these guys are going to coexist throughout the season?
I put it on a slow start. I think at any point Kyrie can kind of turn it up. I like the kid lively. I think he's going to open up things for them, a lob threat, something you said, and I agree with you. I just think for Luka, he's going to always get his points, but he has to kind of make his team and his guys on the floor, whoever's out there, better. Create opportunities early to get those guys going because the game is easy for him. fourth quarter will be his oyster if he chooses and if he can get guys going early where guys are hitting shots and becoming a threat. Because I think sometimes he pounds the ball a little too much and not getting guys involved early. And then later on in the second half, late in the fourth quarter, you can do whatever you want and be, the all superstar and MVP candidate that he is.
And Kenyon Martin said earlier that Kyrie Irving was the best player on this Dallas Mavericks team.
Ruh-roh.
What are your thoughts on that?
Deep breath.
Because I fully disagree. Before you answer, I fully disagree.
Full disclosure.
Luke is the best player. I think Kyrie Irving is one of the best finishers and gifted scorers in the game. And I think they can complement each other if, and I'm going to put this on Luka, if Luka allows it to happen, meaning playing off the ball sometime. Like, the world is great playing off the ball because, one, you get a live dribble, and two, like, you can do whatever you want. He can do anything he wants. So, yeah, I think Luka is that guy first and foremost.
I feel like we failed Halloween here today. This is the first time in my television career that I've done no costume. That's on me. You're not wearing a costume. There will be a lot
scary enough.
There you go. I was like, there are going to be a lot of dudes in costumes tonight. Did you ever? I'm having a hard time picturing this with Vince Carter.
I don't think I did. Like, not wear it to the not that I recall. I mean, I'm sure you can go back. No, I don't think so.
Well, I don't know if there was footage back then, Vince.
Wow, that's very rude. And
there was footage. It's this. Can you actually pull the film?
Put it together.
Literally.
The VHS tapes?
I kind of love that. All right, we got to get to the backstory. You guys have mentioned it. You and Chandler were teammates in Memphis. Please share what you can. Any story about Chandler Parsons.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Tread
You
lightly.
said that I heard it. She said that I can. I got it.
Yeah, see, it's a small window.
Yeah. How long do I have here?
I mean, right?
I mean, I don't.
Oh dear.
Chandler, what should I say, bro?
Yeah,
What
you know
can
what?
you say?
Plead the fifth on this one. I'll tell you this. I was a huge Vince Carter fan. Obviously, growing up in Orlando, I loved him. And so I asked him to sign a jersey for me.
Oh my
at the end of our time, and he signs a jersey, and he writes on it like to Chandler, "You're one of a kind." And I still to this day don't know if it was offensive, if it was a compliment.
Brilliant.
How many? Okay, watch this. How many on that set agree with that? Yeah. One of a kind.
Oh, he's the only living Powerball winner I've ever known who didn't actually win the real Powerball. Yeah. He's living his best life every single day.
And the funny thing about that, guys, I watched Chandler play in high school.
Yeah.
You and Calathis. I used to go watch you. I used to sneak into the gym and watch you guys play. I used to hear about you guys. Like, white guys tearing up Orlando like this. Oh, I'm going to see this. And that they were doing.
Yeah.
I used to catch the train to go watch VC play.
Really?
I was actually a kid in the crowd during the infamous Matumbo dunk. Yeah, when you guys were playing it.
Oh, at Georgia Tech.
When you guys were at Georgia Tech, I used to take the MARTA. My mom would drop me off at the MARTA.
Wow.
I would take the train down to Georgia Tech, watch the game, and take the train back, and she would pick me up from the station that was halfway to my house. And
that's awesome.
I was at that game.
Well,
wow.
Now I feel bad because you guys didn't play together, but Vince, you did something to Lou that we have video. So now I feel bad.
Oh,
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
I thought he was getting bodied when it said the video.
Oh my God, you're so young.
But I worked with the Hawks while Lou was there, and had great conversations because he was now the vet. And anytime that I get a chance to talk to the older guys of the team, with young guys, we've had some good conversations. So, I got a chance to watch Lou do his thing.
Appreciate it. That clip wasn't that bad.
I know, wasn't that bad?
That clip wasn't that bad, but I'm honored to be a part of a Vince Carter dunk montage.
Unfortunately, his montage is so good, that one's probably not going to make it.
That's not going to make it.
And I go back a long time with Beadle as well, man.
I know. Well, we don't have any. Well, you did help me win the media slam dunk contest when I was with the Nets. I think we beat Chris Broussard. I'm just saying. Just throw that out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's an honor, maybe. I don't know. Vince, we'll be talking to you again during the season. Appreciate it. It was a big day today. I love that you came on, and we'll talk soon.
All right, good. See you soon, guys.
All right,
thanks,
I'm
VC.
going to have a good CP story.
Yeah, he's going to go think about it.
need.
Tweet it. Coming up, the latest edition of You buying that? Including a surprise nominee for Best Duo in the League when we come back. Welcome back. There were games last night, believe it or not. Warriors defeating the Pelicans 130-102. Steph Curry, 42 points, 7 of 13 from three. Look, what can I say here? Steph Curry having 42 last night and doing what he's doing, he's starting the season like he is. Is there any shock whatsoever in either one of you?
Not for me. I mean, it's really magical just to watch the way he plays, at the clip, at the range that he shoots from. And this, honestly, when you look at their roster, for them to be really good, they're going to have to defend. They're going to have to stay healthy. They're going to have to continue to have progress in these young guys. But they're going to need Steph Curry, not to say he's going to average 42 points, but they're going to need explosive games like this for them to continue to be in the hunt and to be a real contender. And I have no reason why not to believe that he's going to continue to do this. He's healthy. He can still get his shot off anywhere. His conditioning and his cardio still looks top of his game. So, I mean, it really is. He's probably my favorite player I've ever watched play basketball. I could do it.
I'll double down on that.
Fair enough.
I'll double down on it. I like Steph for the scoring title this year.
Yeah, why not?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he's playing. He looks like himself. You know, these big games, and he's shooting it. He's having fun. He's taunting the crowd. He's into the games. I think we're going to see a rare year from Steph.
It's kind of interesting, too, because he's got a different dynamic behind him now. In 23 minutes, Chris Paul was plus 17 coming off the bench. How much more of leeway, freedom, space does that give Steph Curry to when he's out there to do what he's doing?
Yeah, CP is going to anchor that second group. You know, he's going to give them that veteran leadership that's going to be needed. I think one of the things that's going to be an adjustment for him, he doesn't have that 3-4 minute window where he can warm up and get into the game. So I think coming off that bench, he's going to be ready to go immediately. And that gives him an opportunity to kind of get a groove and see what's needed on the floor, whether he needs to be aggressive offensively or whether he needs to be a facilitator, whether they need to pick the pace up. Him being the type of player that he is, he gives them that balance coming off the bench.
And also, what a treat for guys like Kuminga and Moody and these guys to have Chris Paul as your point guard on that second string, who's still capable of playing at an elite level, who can still contribute. I think it's a perfect fit. And that was the success Chris Paul's had early off the bench is why I think Russell Westbrook can kind of go back to that. I know we're getting off topic here, but
why
I
can't
feel like
James do it
maybe
too?
he can too, but I feel like seeing Chris Paul do it here, if Chris Paul could do it, Westbrook can do it too. But I'm happy to see Chris Paul healthy and kind of carrying that second string on this team because they're going to need that as well.
You know what?
Don't go back.
Wait, are you about to change something?
I'm not going to go back. Well, what I would say is if CP had Kawhi, PG, and James Harden, I don't think he's coming off the bench. I think he fights like hell to be in the starting lineup.
You're probably right.
It's a sexy starting lineup to be
It is.
a part of if you can. Lou, talk to me about coming off the bench as being a starter, then coming off the bench. It was such a big deal in the offseason because Chris Paul, they kept saying, we don't know who's starting. We knew who was starting. Is it a weird adjustment? Is it a quick adjustment? What does it take?
I think for him it's a weird adjustment. For me, it was something that was presented to me early on in my career, and so I just wanted to be on the floor. I wanted to play, and I wanted to earn my minutes. He's a proven all-star, perennial all-star, had so much success in his career, so this is going to be an adjustment for him, but so far so good. I think he's adjusted well to it, and I think the main thing about coming off the bench when you're a Chris Paul caliber guy is just being comfortable with it and embracing it.
This Pelican squad last year they were fun to watch at the beginning. We got a nice taste of what they can be. They had Zion Williamson out there. Then he got hurt. Do you see a future where we can see them be the best version of themselves?
I hope so, because like you said, last year I was super high on this team. We were talking about Willie Green, Coach of the Year earlier on in the year.
Right.
It's all dependent on Zion and him being healthy and him playing 30-plus minutes for 90% of the season. Is that ever going to happen? TBD. But when you look at their roster and they got size, they got CJ McCollum that can score the ball, they got Brandon Ingram who can kind of do it all, and I love their bench. I love Herb Jones, I love Murphy, I love Alvarado. If these guys can ever get healthy and on the same page, I do think they're a threat. I don't think they're enough to contend this year, but they do have the roster and the talent to contend and be a tough matchup for people.
Selfishly, we want that to happen. Heat Bucks, we got a little playoff rematch last night. That's always fun early on in the season. The Bucks beat the Heat 122-114. Giannis finished with 33 and 7. Dame had 25. Oh, so close, Lou. On 7 of 14 shooting. Tyler Hero with 35 in this one, and Butler 13, 4 and 4. I bring Butler up because before the game, there was a moment when Dame and Jimmy Butler said hello. It was all smiles, very professional. But let's be honest, it feels like the one that got away. Is there a part of Jimmy Butler that just looks at him in that uniform and thinks, what could have been?
I mean, yeah, but it is what it is, and that's all in the past now, and you have your team. And you can't be disrespectful to the Tyler Heroes and your current teammates that were possibly going to be in those trade talks. So I think definitely he's watching, and he's making light of it, which I think is good. He's talking about they need to get in trouble for tampering, and I think he's just kind of having a personality about it, but yeah, who wouldn't want to have Dame Lillard on your team?
Do you think Dame Lillard went into this one with a little bit of a different mentality?
No.
Really?
It's no emotional connection there.
But it's the difference between, no offense, Milwaukee, but living in Milwaukee and living in Miami, two very different vibes.
I can see that, but I think basketball-wise, only thing happened was they followed each other on Twitter. It didn't work out, and they unfollowed each other, and they kept moving. So I don't think Dame put too much into this game. I think he was more focused on just having a bounce-back game and getting back on track opposed to playing the Miami Heat.
The Tyler Hero thing of it all, I do find it interesting that he had 35 points. As we all know, he was the part of this that kept fluctuating. He had Instagram posts.
He might have.
He might have.
No, that's personal.
Now, he took this personally.
Yeah.
Well, you never want to hear your name in trade talks and then it not happen. You got to go back. It's like your girl wants to break up with you, and then you end up staying with her.
Ooh, awkward.
And everyone knows, your family knows, your friends knows. They're all in your ear chirping how, dang, they would have traded you in a second if Portland would have gave. And I'll tell you this, Tyler Hero is an absolute bucket. He's a bona fide scorer. The Heat have something with him, and if he played like this against Milwaukee, I'm circling the game against Portland as well, because whatever that over-under is, I'm taking Tyler Hero going over in that Portland game. But this is what he does. He's a scorer, and he's going to continue to do that.
And definitely should have a chip on his shoulder. No matter the team, he's been brought up in those trade talks. On one side of the coin, it can be somewhat of a compliment that teams want to involve you, but on the other side, it's like, damn, y'all giving up on me,
right?
So I think this is a breakout season for him. Last night was a great start of that, and just go bust everybody ass.
Well, when people say it's a business, I fully get the business.
Yeah.
But he's a human at the end of the day, and he's definitely annoyed. He's definitely a little butthurt, and he's like, damn, I was drafted by these guys. I live here. I've had my kids here.
Can I say one thing though, as a mere mortal, a civilian, if you will? It is hard for me to muster too much when the post is from a private plane and you're looking out the window like, what's going to happen to me?
It could be worse, I suppose.
I'm like, dude, you got to do that like on a Southwest flight. And then we're like, oh, that's difficult. Oh, that's too much.
Yeah.
Giannis, pregame, he had an outfit on. It's different. And how are we feeling?
It's just not a lot of effort.
Yeah.
No, you got to do the actual. I mean,
This is the bare minimum.
He's wearing the jumpsuit from the team that was given to him with some gloves and a mask. You know he likes his free stuff.
He does like his free stuff.
His mask doesn't fit.
I know his mask
doesn't fit. It's a kid's size.
It's his son's mask that he grabbed.
For sure. He grabbed it out of the car. It was in the back seat of the car.
No doubt.
But he doubled down after the game.
His whole mouth is out.
Which is weird. He did it after the game as well. Now I want to see after the game because he had to talk with the mask on. Let me see.
I'd like to see if they lost, if he would have done this after
great
the
point.
game.
Okay, the hand. Oh, he did. Okay. Fair enough.
What we got?
Where did he find a T-shirt? He didn't have a T-shirt walking in.
No, he didn't. Somebody was like, that's not.
Don't be scared to come home.
Don't be scared to come home. I don't think those are Hulk lines. That's more like Michael Myers-ish.
I don't think he's seen the movie.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. He's got to watch the movie.
No,
no, and the paint is partly why we love the Hulk. I would like to see what everybody else shows up with tonight. We doing Magic Lakers? We're doing Magic Lakers. Let's do Magic Lakers. This was a close one. Closest of the evening, I think. 106-103. LA wins. Anthony Davis. We're going to always keep a watch on this. 26-19. LeBron. He had the 33 minutes, threw in 19 points. D'Angelo, all right, 12 in the fourth quarter of his 28 total points. And Paolo Banchero, 9 points, 4-14. They've been in Los Angeles for a few days.
You can't put these young guys in LA for that long.
It's a long time in LA. Look, AD, there was that one crazy game with 0 points. What was it, the second half? But then things are looking up for AD. Do we criticize him too much? Is that possible?
Yes and no, but again, there's responsibility with being the franchise player, and he's going to continue to get criticized when things again like last night happen. The Magic should have and could have won this game, and at no point in that fourth quarter, the last 4 or 5 minutes, Did Anthony Davis demand the ball? Did they get him a touch? Did they give him the ball, let him go rock and get a bucket or get to the free throw line? It didn't happen again. Thank goodness for them that D'Angelo Russell was hitting big shots, but this is the guy that you want to be your closer. You've given him the keys. LeBron's even kind of taken the back seat and say this is his team. The best players show up at the end of the game, and he just hasn't done that for whatever reason. Look at his numbers. He's having a great year.
Yeah.
He's having all NBA stats, and they won this game. But they barely won this game to a young Orlando Magic team, and he didn't take over again later in the game. And I think that's why people would get frustrated. Is he having a bad year? No, he's having an awesome year. But when you have this kind of talent and this much experience, guys want to see you take over. Guys want to see you close the game for your team, and he hasn't done that yet.
Talk to me about D'Angelo Russell. It's kind of nice to say his name followed by 28 points. How big a key is he for this team to keep going?
It's going to be major. I've played with D'Lo, and he can be hot, he can be cold. I think he's the type of player, he likes to take chances. You know, he likes to play a little flashy, likes to shoot tough shots and give himself the opportunity to score the basketball. If he can be consistent and kind of level those things out as his career progresses. Like, I'm looking at these highlights now. He's not forcing anything. He's playing on balance. He's getting in the lanes. He just got to be solid for this basketball team, and I think that'll do a lot for the Lakers coming down the stretch.
That was a fun shot right there. On the other side of things, the Magic, they started out the season, they won their first 2 games of the year. Maybe they heard Pat Beverly, maybe they didn't, I don't know. But your expectations for them are what?
I think anything close to the play-in and the postseason is a huge win for this team. And watching them last night, shout out Jamal Mosley, because he's got these dudes playing hard. He's got these guys defended. When I'm watching them play, they fly around. They look like a college AAU team that is just playing harder, and they have to do that at this stage of their career. They're young. They have some great pieces going forward. I love the Wagner kid. I love Paolo. They have pieces. They have good guards. They have solid depth, and they have something here. Obviously, they're still a ways away, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Magic snuck in that 9-10 play-in and had an opportunity to get in there.
That's not.
You don't think so?
Wait, you don't look impressed.
To sneak in a 9-10?
I'm just saying, I would say that is a huge success if the Orlando Magic can somehow get in that play-in.
I'm not optimistic about the Orlando Magic.
At all?
Listen, they don't have any wiggle room for injuries. They don't have any wiggle room for bad stretches during the season. Still super young, a lot of talent, and a great coach in Jamal, but I don't see it.
I'm looking. I think they're better than the Raptors.
Oh, here we go.
The Wizards, the Hornets,
Really?
the Nets.
I like the Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards?
Stop.
I do.
You don't like the Wizards.
All right.
I think they're right there. Looking at that, and obviously the 2-1, they could have been 3-0 last night.
I like Charlotte.
And the good thing is they are young. Like, I know they play again tonight.
The Knicks will wake up at some point.
Yeah, they're not better than the Knicks. Listen,
I think
that's what I'm saying. If
so
they
you
can
like
somehow,
them 9-10?
Yeah, and they can sneak in and maybe beat
That's why
I
I hate the play-in. It's too much.
I don't like counting the play-in either as postseason.
I don't like it.
Didn't we decide we're going to
like
get rid of the play-in and
Let's
keep
go back
this
old
tournament
school. Because I hate it. If I'm a 7 seed and I've played
agree.
consistently all year, I have to fight for my life at the end of the year against
just lose
a
2
team
games
that
and
has a great week.
I do
don't
agree
like
with
it.
that.
Yeah,
It's going to be the Orlando Magic that 7th seed is going to lose to.
Are we writing all this down?
Yes.
I feel like months from now we need to look back on this. Mavs played the Grizzlies last night. They did win as well. They did not have Kyrie Irving. Won this one by 15. Luka, 35, 12, and 12. Good Lord. Jaren Jackson Jr., 30 and 9. Desmond Bane had 30 as well. Luka with a 30-point triple-double and no Kyrie. What's the dynamic with Kyrie, without Kyrie? Tell me the difference between the teams when he's there and when he's not.
I think it just frees people up a little bit more. It gives other guys more confidence when Kyrie's out. You look at the box score last night, Derek Jones, 22, Tim Hardaway, 21, Grant Williams, 15. So you get a little bit more contributions from other people. But the idea that this is a better team without Kyrie Irving is ludicrous. They're a much better team with Kyrie Irving. They're just going to have to continue to fill him in to get their rotations down. Those guys are 2 of the best scoring guards in the NBA. And if you can get them both cooking and getting those other guys involved and continue the growth of Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, this is a team to look out for. But they're a much better team with Kyrie.
And Chandler can attest to this. When a star player isn't playing, and you know he isn't playing, that just does something to role players. Like I get there's 15 to 20 shots that just opened up, and I want at least half of them, and I get an opportunity to really do my thing. And so I think that's what you're seeing. But once Kyrie gets back in the fold, everything goes back into place.
And there's zero pressure when he's out, right? Like I'm gunning, I'm shooting, I'm scoring because he's coming back eventually, and nothing, and
And I'm not coming out of the game.
Exactly.
But what about the defense? Like when you said the 2 scorers, but what about defense-wise and is, trying to be taken seriously as a contender?
I think that's why they plug in a Derrick Jones to the starting lineup. That's why they go and get a Grant Williams. They go and get these pieces that can help protect Kyrie and Luka, because they're obviously not they're not some of the best defenders that the league has. But that's why you got to get these other guys that can kind of take the onus off them, let them not waste energy and their time on the defensive end. Obviously, they're still gonna have to guard, and the other teams they play are gonna make a point to go at these guys, get them in foul trouble, exhaust them on both ends of the floor. But that's why you go and get Grant Williams and those versatile defenders.
And even still, I don't think they jump off the page as a great defensive team. So if I'm them, I'm focused on trying to put 125, 130 on the board every night.
Outscore the other team to win, because they're not getting many stops.
That will do it.
Yeah.
Word on the
name of the game, Michelle. They get more points, they win, right?
That's what I heard. I'm doing research. Taking a quick break right now. When we come back, we're getting cocky and arrogant up here. Prop party. Turns out we're good at this. When Run It Back returns.
Run it back, run it over, run it back, run it over, run it back, run it over, run it back.
Oh yes, prop party time. This is where we use our expertise and knowledge, and we try to make you a little money, if you will. What did we do? We went 5 for 6 last night?
Which is really good.
Geniuses. Chandler, kick it off.
So tonight, I know the Magic played last night. We just talked about how they're young, they have fresh legs. Last night's probably the only night they didn't go out in LA because they didn't have the game. I like the Magic +7, possibly even to win this game. The Clippers obviously shorthanded. God knows who's going to play for them tonight.
Point.
They just traded half their team. I love the Magic +7. Donovan Mitchell, it says he's game time decision. He missed last game. He's a little banged up. 30.5 points against a good defensive Knicks team. I like the under on that in his first game back.
And that might get scratched if he doesn't play.
No, if he doesn't play, then I should get the credit because it's definitely going under.
I mean, fine.
Doesn't play at 0 points, it's under 30.
That is under 30 technically.
Ridiculous rule.
I'm gonna stay on that wave. I like Cavs money line. Home game. Hopefully Donovan Mitchell is back in the lineup versus the Knicks. So I like Cavs money line and do that one. And less is more. It's plenty of us. I like the Clippers +11 tonight against the Magic. I think they get it done.
Well, this is awkward. You and I are going head to head because I have the Knicks money line, especially no Garland. I feel like I know. I feel like we have a side bet. This is for pride and ego. And I have I don't have Clippers. I have Paolo Banchero over 18.5. He had 9 yesterday. I mean, I should just say I'm going on visions and vibes.
There you go.
But I also think having 9 last night, I'm just hoping that you're right, that everyone's rested and.
So unfortunately, we can't be perfect tonight because we have different.
No, one of us has to at least miss
this
one.
Determines who knows more about basketball. Right here.
Yeah, this is big night.
These games tonight determine everything.
I feel like visions and vibes is a good enough way to go off this. You sort of look at it and feel it.
Yeah. By the way, we haven't talked about the Cavs very much because they've been a little banged up, but it's a little playoff rematch tonight.
I know.
Hopefully Donovan Mitchell plays. We can get a game. They both need it. They're both 1 and 2.
If Donovan Mitchell doesn't play and the Knicks lose that game,
chaos.
then we start the show with that tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. Well, there's also only 3 games here too, so I don't know what else we're
definitely
gonna talk
are
about.
starting the show tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we got.
We have a good week in store for everyone. We will be back tomorrow. We have John Wall on the show on Thursday.
Right.
Best of luck. Be safe out there with the Halloween festivities. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Run it back, run it up, 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 run it back.